Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood was published in 2003. It begins in a strange and damaged world after a terrible disaster has destroyed most of humanity. A man called Snowman wakes up alone in a tree near the sea. The reader does not yet know what happened to the world or why society has collapsed. Snowman seems to be one of the last surviving humans. Around him lives a group of unusual human like beings called the Crakers or the children of Crake. They are innocent, childlike, and genetically engineered people who live simply in nature. The story moves between two time periods. One part shows Snowman's difficult life after the disaster, and the other part tells the story of his earlier life when his real name was Jimmy. These two storylines slowly connect and explain how the world came to ruin. In the present time, Snowman takes care of the Crakers and feels responsible for protecting them. The Crakers think of Crake and Oryx as godlike figures because Snowman tells them stories about them. According to these stories, Crake created the Crakers and watches over them, while Oryx protects animals and plants. Snowman invents these stories because the Crakers do not understand human history or religion. Though the Crakers can survive easily in the New World, Snowman struggles to stay alive. He often suffers with hunger, thirst, loneliness, and illness. He knows that useful supplies still exist at a place called Paradise inside the Rejuvenescence compound, where he once worked with Craig. Though the journey is dangerous, Snowman decides to travel there to collect food, medicine, and other important items. During his journey, Snowman faces many dangers. One major threat comes from pigoons, genetically modified pigs created to grow human organs for transplant. These animals are intelligent and aggressive. Snowman is also weakened by a painful wound on his foot, but he finally reaches paradise and gathers supplies before returning to the Crackers. Most of the novel focuses on Snowman's memories of his earlier life as Jimmy. Jimmy grew up inside a protected scientific community where his parents worked for a company called Organ Inc. Farms. The company experimented with biotechnology and grew human organs inside animals. Jimmy's mother became disgusted by these scientific experiments and the cruel society around her. She became depressed and finally abandoned the family, leaving Jimmy emotionally damaged and lonely. Jimmy later became close friends with a brilliant student called Craig. The two boys spent much of their time on the internet watching violent and disturbing videos. Craig was highly talented in science and mathematics, while Jimmy was more interested in language and words. After school, Craig attended the prestigious Watson Crick Institute, where he studied bioengineering and quickly became a successful scientist. Jimmy attended a less respected college that focused on arts and humanities. He studied a subject called problematics, which prepared students for advertising and marketing careers. After graduation, Jimmy worked for a company called Anu, which sold beauty and self improvement products. His job involved creating advertisements and slogans. Over the years, Jimmy lost regular contact with Craig. At the same time, agents from a powerful security organization called Cops Say Cops often questioned Jimmy about his missing mother. One day, they showed him a video proving that his mother had been executed. This news caused Jimmy deep emotional pain and depression. Soon afterward, Craig suddenly reappeared and offered Jimmy a new job at Rejuvenescence. Jimmy accepted the offer and began helping with the marketing campaign for a new pill called Bliss Plus. The pill promised sexual pleasure, youth, and protection from disease. However, the pill secretly caused infertility in people who used it. Crake had also created another secret project called Paradise, where he developed the Crakers, a new type of genetically engineered human designed to replace ordinary humanity. At Paradise, Jimmy met Oryx, a mysterious woman who worked with Crake. Oryx helped teach the Crakers and distribute Bliss Plus around the world. Jimmy realized that he had once seen Oryx years earlier in a disturbing child exploitation video online. Over time, Jimmy fell in love with her, even though she was also involved with Craig. Eventually, a terrible plague suddenly spread across the world. Oryx explained to Jimmy that the Bliss Plus pills secretly carried a deadly virus created by Craig. The disease spread rapidly and killed most of the human population. Craig believed humanity was destructive and wanted to replace it with the peaceful Crakers. During the first hours of the disaster, Craig returned to the paradise with Oryx. In front of Jimmy, Craig killed Oryx by cutting her throat. Shocked and furious, Jimmy shot and killed Craig. Afterward, Jimmy stayed alone in paradise for some time, trying to understand Craig's actions and the destruction of humanity. Finally, Jimmy renamed himself Snowman and left paradise with the Crakers. He guided them to a safer place near the ocean, where they continue living in the ruined world. At the end of the novel, Snowman returns from his journey and discovers that other human survivors may still exist. He follows their trail and wonders whether they will become his friends or his enemies.